Lately, Asus has been quite particular in launching several devices specifically in India targeting the mid-range market, though that thought process comes up with different tags such as laser, max and selfie. That being said, there's nothing new which can be called as a refresh, at least here in 2017. However, that statement might be pulled out as the company recently announced the new Asus Zenfone 3S Max. The crown jewel of this device is that it comes with Android Nougat pre-installed, which makes a striking marketing appeal in their alley. Having said that, the Zenfone Max series has been quite popular among the users in the country due to the massive battery capacities. We have reviewed the late Zenfone Max Snapdragon 615 variant and the new Zenfone 3 Max earlier in the past, where the battery labels have successfully classified our thoughts in a good sense. So does this new Asus Zenfone 3S Max signify itself from its predecessors when it comes to a quarterly refresh cycle as of 2017? Let's find that out in our in-depth Asus Zenfone 3S Max review. So hey guys, I'm Prateek and you're on the next Thinkerz channel. Let's get poppin'. Just like the previous Asus Zenfone 3S Max design, the new Zenfone 3S Max follows a similar footprint as the material used here is almost the same. Sure, the unibody design looks good, but at the same time it is just a dust magnet. Other than that, the device feels compact while a little heavy considering the 5000 mAh battery, which is thoughtful. A mid-range device cannot look good and be lightweight at the same time. Fair enough, right? Otherwise the company would need to chase through the pricing. I like how it is designed and built, but your taste may vary. Though the most prominent change the company has made from the past is the introduction of a physical home button on the front, which doubles as a fingerprint reader. Speaking of which, on the back side, there isn't any unnecessary camera sensor bump, so don't worry about the wobbling after laying the device on any flat surface. On the front, you would be greeted with on-screen buttons which sort of provide haptic feedback. So finally, this review won't include that there are no backlit buttons on this device. Haha. On the flip side, the front glass panel is gorgeous. I'm not speaking of the display though, since a 720p display isn't good, at least here in 2017. Come on Asus. The glass panel on the front curves on the edges, giving it a look and feel of a 2.5D panel. Speaking of which, the network antennas have been situated around the edges. This is why you won't notice any ugly borders on the back. Rest of the IO ports are situated correctly, and the only disappointing thing which I find is the hybrid SIM slot. The Asus Zenfone 3S Max is available in two different colors, black and sand gold, which is true to its name. On a side note, the earphones that comes inside this box are quite reliable. If we speak about the Zenfone Max iteration, considering the Zenfone 3 Max to 3S Max upgrade, there is a drop in performance. However, the trade-off is reflected respectively if we compare the pricing of these two devices. The Zenfone 3S Max runs on a 1.5 GHz MediaTek MT6750 processor, which gets backed by 3GB RAM. The performance was decent when it came to day-to-day use, though in gaming it struggled a bit and a considerate amount of heating got observed. That being said, it is a VoLTE device and would efficiently handle Reliance Jio's network. The Zenfone 3S Max comes with 32GB of internal storage and expansion is available up to 2TB. Though technically speaking, the performance of this device did not quite impress me, and in my opinion, the transition from the Zenfone 3 Max to 3S Max was not up to the mark. So the Zenfone 3S Max has a 13 megapixel camera on the rear and an 8 megapixel sensor on the front. Speaking of which, both cameras are average. There's nothing spectacular to talk about than the manual mode. There's also a yellow or blue tint which I have observed while you fire up the rear camera. Though it was an issue with my device, but when I received a replacement, everything was good. The dual tone LED flash is also present on the back, which does its usual job. The manual mode in any smartphones produced by Asus is a blessing given to the users. It just amps up any conventional camera to its greatest possible extent, considering that you have tweaked the right settings. Though the photos were decent enough, but their quality kept my inner self hesitating. Focusing was not on point and a fair amount of noise gets observed during low lighting conditions. I feel that the company has taken the cost-cutting point regarding camera performance quite seriously. Though it can satisfy your social media needs, but other than that, don't expect anything else. Same can be said about the front camera. It is satisfiable but not good. It does the required job but only during daylight. The Asus Zenfone 3S Max is the company's first device to run on Android Nougat 7.0, having the look and feel of the same old Zen UI. Speaking of which, it runs on Zen UI 3.0 with all the glorious bloatware. It seems as if Asus is trying to compete with Google in terms of providing core apps, though the user experience gets a boost due to the snappy interface and overall performance. Even the top tier smartphones by Asus have not received this update. The mobile manager and Game Genie app integration throughout the apps might come in handy, but they seem annoying at some point of time. The only thing which I felt using from the amount of bloatware thrown on this device was the ZenFit app. It was a decent experience using this app. That is the reason why whenever I set up any new Asus device, I first download Google Now Launcher and Gboard for a much cleaner experience. Since I feel Asus is trying to provide a lot here on this device, but that approach has let them forget to provide those resources on a clean basis, due to which you see a lot of junk. The main reason for this is competition. The signature gestures made their way here, whereas the fingerprint sensor provided almost 70% accuracy, though you need to tap the button in order to wake up the fingerprint sensor, as you can see in the video. So the overall experience felt snappy but on the undercooked side. I said that because there's one thing which makes this device go nuts and unstable. It will be uploaded shortly on our YouTube channel as a separate video. Asus, you better update the software on this device, it is mighty unpredictable. Even though the software was not stable, the battery life on this device was quite good. I was getting almost a day of battery backup with heavy usage, whereas nearly 1.5 days of battery backup on moderate usage. Though if you compare the same on the previous Zenfone 3 Max, surprisingly I was getting similar battery backup. So honestly speaking, it is quite hard to answer whether why Asus went ahead and announced this device just for the sake of 5000 mAh battery tag. I don't know, maybe the software is draining too much battery. Let's see if Asus provides any update to patch this. I have never had mixed conclusions about a device while judging my last opinion, because using the Zenfone 3S Max felt like the company has made a gamble due to the presence of strong competitors in the budget segment. The Asus Zenfone 3S Max retails for Rs 14,999 INR. Well, such a pricing seems arrogant after using the device for nearly a month. If you're spending Rs 15,000 from your pocket, you should better join the Moto G5 Plus, Honor 6X or even the Redmi Note 4 League. However, if Asus is your way to go, the original Zenfone 3 Max is already a beautiful device, though you have to consider extending your budget a bit. So that is all I had to say about my Asus Zenfone 3S Max review. Would you consider buying it? Let me know in the comments below. Links to buy this device are in the description. Whereas, make sure you are subscribed to our channel to receive fresh updates in your subscription box. And smash that like button so that I will see you in my next video.